Okay, so I'm going to talk about data, and so the interesting thing is, what Marissa spoke about, and Nate spoke, and Meg spoke. Everything revolved around, let's write content, and let's do data visualization, and let's have all of that data out there. But one thing was missing is where exactly is that data, and data is actually everywhere. In fact. Even to prepare for this short 5-minute presentation, I had to practice what I preached, and so I went back and looked at lots of data. And I found something very, very interesting, that most nonprofits use 1 out of 5, either all 5 or some combination of 5 elements in everything they do. So the first one is online presence. By online presence, I mean their website, their blog, their Twitter account, their Facebook account, and all of that is that online presence. The second thing that they do is constituent management. They may call it by different names, but basically they try and manage their constituents. And constituents are stakeholders, so it would be their staff, their contacts, their founders, the donors, and so on and so forth. The third and probably the most important aspect of most nonprofits, especially the not so well funded ones, which is most, is fundraising. And that's the third aspect. The fourth aspect is communication. Ultimately, you end up communicating with your stakeholders and communicating with your website visitors, as well as with the contacts and various other stakeholders that you have. And finally, it's events. So you try and manage events that you create out of either for fundraising or for publicizing or for other purposes that different nonprofits may have. Now, in the new paradigm, it's a requirement that all of these also be mobile ready and mobile friendly. And ultimately, data is what drives all of this. And the simple thing to do for today, since the task is what can I do today, and what you can do today is collect data. Collect data on all of the above. It's as simple as get a list of all of your contacts. It doesn't matter in what format, whether it's paper and pen or whatever. After you've got that data of everything, like get data on your online presence, on your constituents, on your fundraising, on your communication, and on your events. How many emails did you send, what results you had, and so on. Just collect the data. It may not be available in a nice, easy way, but it is there, and just get it together. Now, once you get this data, this next thing you need to do is collate that data. What do I mean by collate the data? Is that you have to put the data in meaningful silos, in the sense that you need to put fundraising not only in terms of how much money did I raise, and from what all people did I raise. What's even more important is how much money did I raise from each individual, and then put it into buckets of $1,000 plus was from only 10 individuals, between 100 and 1,000 was 856 individuals, and under 100 was 10,500. Now, so far you've been worrying about handling the 12,000 that I gave in this example of contacts. But the truth of the matter is, if you do the math, 80% of your funding came from those top 100. So you need to focus on those top 100. It could be as simple as write them a handwritten letter. But collecting the data and knowing where it's really coming from is important, because otherwise you tend to get overwhelmed. You tend to feel like, oh, I can't reach 10,000 people. Here's the good news. You don't need to reach 10,000 people. You need to reach 100 people. And you could do that by the end of today.
The 80-20 rule.
Right.